Welcome guys to what I think is going to be a pretty interesting review, and let me tell you why. We're starting to see two distinct types of mod emerge for the game: enhancement mods and cheat mods. Enhancement mods enhance the game in some way. They add new content to the game, or they add new types of gameplay which enhance the experience of playing the game. They allow you to do creative new things. And then you've got cheat mods. For example, reducing the cost of buildings to zero, right? Which don't enhance the gameplay. For me, they detract from the gameplay. And in fact, I'm going to be clearly labelling all my reviews to say whether a mod is an enhancement mod or a cheat mod. Now, when I first looked at Parker's Power Overhaul, I thought, oh, here we go, another cheat mod. But when I started reading the documentation and looking at the mod closer, there's a lot more to this mod than meets the eye. This is an attempt to rebalance the green forms of energy against the non-green. So solar and wind power versus oil, coal, nuclear. Now when you download the mod, in addition to the package files, you'll also get some detailed charts which show you exactly what changes Parker's made to each of the different types of power. Let's look at a couple of examples, starting with the fixed solar array. Now the numbers in white show the original values, and the numbers in grey show the upgraded values. The initial cost has been reduced slightly, from 16,000 to 14,000, but the maintenance cost has actually gone up, from 105 per hour to 125 per hour. The number of modules that you can put down has been doubled, from 16 to 32, and I love that, and I'll show you why later on. The biggest change though is to the power output. The power output's been increased by 50%, from 12 megawatts to 18 megawatts. Now let's compare that to one of the oil generator modules. The combustion module has had its initial cost increased from 7,500 to 8,000, and the maintenance cost has actually been decreased. Now I have to say, that's a change that I don't necessarily agree with. I'd like to see the maintenance cost for all the non-green forms of energy actually increasing. The number of modules you can place has been doubled, but the power output has only been increased by 10%. And again, I would have liked that number to either stay the same or perhaps even be reduced. So as you can see, this isn't a straight boost all the numbers. This is an attempt to try and rebalance green versus non-green. Now you can argue the numbers that have been used, and I would encourage you to do so, but in terms of what he's trying to achieve, I think it's laudable. And I hope that Maxis will actually take a look at this and perhaps consider tweaking some of the numbers in the original game. And I think it's also worth mentioning that the tweaks that have been made to the numbers also encourage research, and that's a very good idea. Okay, enough about the numbers. What can you actually do with this thing? Well, how about producing your very own solar great works? Now, I've only just started playing around with this mod, and I'm already finding some very, very cool things that you can do. The increase to the number of ploppable modules really gives you some scope for creativity. And I've got to show you the view from the region, because you can create things which really have some visual impact, not just for your city, but for the entire region. I'm really looking forward to playing around with some wind farms as well. And not only does this thing look cool, it produces a quite staggering 7,500 megawatts of electricity. Now, that is pretty impressive by any standards. Okay, it's time for a little bit of Jamie Lee. What do we think? I can't give this a 5 out of 5 simply because some of the numbers I don't agree with. I think the balancing needs to be taken through a few more iterations to actually get this thing right. I love the idea, I love the concept, and I love the attempt to try and balance this and to encourage green technology and to encourage research. So I think I'm going to go with 4 out of 5. I think that's a fair score for this mod. And I would encourage you, download it, have a look at the charts, and play around with this. It really can take your creativity in completely new directions. Okay guys, that's it. Peace out.